Honorable Minister Ashwini Vaishnav also laid out the vision document for 6G. He also said that India needs to take leadership in 6G. If India indeed needs to take leadership in 6G, what would be the things that India needs to do?
So we already have, about a year ago, I think it was announced to have the Bharat 6G Alliance. It is a consortium of industries and academia and all in other parties. That alliance has this responsibility of bringing all the stakeholders together and bring a consensus. We are also going to have, an Honorable Prime Minister, I think, also mentioned that we are going to have the WTSA conference, next year in India. That's the first time we are going to host it, and it's a standards association for, from the ITU. India is going to, present the needs of India and make sure that they become part of the standards. So one of the things we were successful in doing it was to include the feature of ubiquity in the 6G framework. And many countries, especially the United States, actually supported India's case. Why it is important is, or why is it that many countries would not support is because if you say ubiquity, which means everybody has to be provided with 6G, which means more money has to be spent, larger capex. But India said that, for a country, for us, inclusiveness is very important. And therefore, we push for that, and we were able to. So it's just one example how India has shown leadership in, bringing 6G to be relevant for Indian needs.
I want to know when I'll get 6G.
Sorry?
When will I get 6G? When will all of us get 6G on our phone?
Yeah, well, I think you have to start paying for 5G first. You said you're getting it free.
Did the telecom, CEOs talk about, monetizing 5G, not from the enterprises, but from consumers? That maybe charging a premium tariff for 5G, did that come up?
No, it did not come up because tariff is something which companies decide on their, on their competitive pricing basis. But I think companies are working feverishly to develop 5G cases. For example, they would like to, do network splicing and, do the traffic which will have a separate quality of service so that they can assign priorities to different networks. So companies, private companies can establish their own, private networks with different class of, services, which is not possible under the current 4G networks or 3G networks. So many approaches are going on. I think we will find companies finding different ways to monetize it.
Fair enough. One final thing that I wanted to talk about is the startup ecosystem. That's your key priority. Get India's thriving startup ecosystem into the larger ecosystem. I think the DOT has 3 funds, 3 programs where you fund startups. What has come out of it so far? You've sown the seeds for the last few years. Can you talk about some of the trees to come?
So there are at least 250 or 200 odd startups who are participating here actually. Many of them have been funded by DOT. We have successes in, chip manufacturing. There's a company called Signaltron. We have, a company which has become relatively bigger. It's VVDN. It was also financed under the PLI. We have a company called Logi, and I think it works in health. We have companies who are working in education, in agriculture, all using 5G test cases, use cases in various spheres. So the 3 schemes which we have a large, allocation. The first one is TTDF, which has the largest allocation of 500 crores. There are 2 more schemes, DCIS, and there's another one run by CDOT. So I think government is making sure that there is no lack of money for the startups to be able to, participate. I think one of the, problems we are working on behalf of startups is to, how do they get market access in public procurement? Because telecom is an infrastructure which is highly, large amount of investment is done by public sector. Of course, there are private players as well, and we are going to actually place this problem in front of the private sector as well, they should also take the onus of giving startups some leg space, some, orders to be given so that they can develop this, their order book and grow up the value chain.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mittal. And now I'm going to open up the floor. So we've got the DOT Secy with us, guys. So if you have any questions, please keep them flowing.
Warm regards to all the ladies and gentlemen or guests present here. My name is Ujjwal Sonkar, and we are working on a startup which is based in defense technologies. So we have a novel architecture which is not anything similar to x86 or ARM-based processors. And we have received a lot of interest from Ministry of Defense as well as the telecommunication industry, because in most of the cases when we use the chip architecture, it is either something a foreign company who doesn't give us the total access to use it. So there is nothing which is especially kept in mind about this hardware independency in the architecture domain. So we have, as a startup, we do have it, but we need some funding, a significant amount good enough to make it something scalable, such as either having a foundry within India. Right now it's being manufactured at TSMC, and we want to be hardware independent if we wish to. What do you suggest we as a startup should work? As you said about TTDF as well as others. So do you have anything in special consideration if we have such an important project? And please kindly, I would like to hear your opinions, like how can we proceed? I
cannot respond specifically to your needs, but as I said, the TTDF is available. If it's a telecom related application, we would definitely be happy to fund it. Please apply. The window just closed, or I think it has been extended. It has been extended, it is open. Please go back tonight, apply. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, hello everyone. Very good evening. Good evening, sir. So I am from TCS, Tata Consultancy Services, and I'm working there as a AIML lead, data scientist lead. So my question to you, sir, is we know that upcoming technologies are there, 5G is there, 6G is there. But, and in 5G there are enterprise 5G as well, the private networks. And I firmly believe that AIML is having a crucial role in terms of 5G, specifically when we talk about private networks. But in the AIML itself, there are generative AI as well, the new hot topic nowadays, so how do you see generative AI as a collaboration with 5G in private networks? Will it be a boon or will it be a curse? Because why I'm saying so, there are certain areas in it, like we can explore it more and more, but as you know that it's an immense thing. You all might be aware of it.
It's a 8G UPSC question, which I will not be able to answer. I think you know the answer.
But yeah, from your perspective, I just want to know that.
I mean, not specifically about generative AI, but I do see that AI is going to be very widely, pervasively used. And as technologies evolve, as technologies become more and more. So, for example, one of the revelations to me was today that the way Jio has been able to reduce the cost of their phones is that they have been able to take away all the processing to the core. And the phone is just kind of a shell. The entire processing is happening at the back end. And so I think the more and more processing can happen in 5G and 6G technologies in the core, and you can throw all the results on the edge, right? So I mean, I agree with you that that's going to be the future. So I think that's about as deep as I can go on generative AI. Thank you.
You said that one revelation for you was that how Jio was able to cut down costs by doing all the processing at outside. What else was a revelation for you? You're a student for life. What else have you learned today that you didn't know?
I think one of the things which and it never stops me from really becoming fascinated, is that there are so many pathways to solve a problem. I mean, I see, so for example, I saw, a solution to save fishermen in the sea. I saw one solution at BSNL. I saw another solution at, I think, Tejas.
And what were these solutions? You want to tell us briefly?
Yeah, I mean, they are based on, you know, the BSNL was a combined solution of, so as long as 2 nautical miles, you have this 3G, 4G coverage. So it uses that till that area. After that, it, you know, it switches to satellite. The Tejas solution was all the way satellite. We have funded, I think, if I'm not wrong, we have funded a startup called Ignoble in Chennai, whom we, you know, helped them do a POC with government of Tamil Nadu. They have yet another solution. And I think that is the richness of, you know, India, that, you know, given a problem, we'll find a solution.
Absolutely. Thank you very, very much, Dr. Mittal, for joining in, and wish you a great tenure as a DOT
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.